Hello everyone and welcome back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to cut and sew a maxi gown. You can see it with open front, so you can see it. So at the end of the day, this was what I came up with. It really looks so beautiful, effortlessly. So it's actually a very long gown, so I don't know how to explain to describe the style. So yes, so this was it. It came out really fine and really flawless. So you can see the sleeves, you can see the front, so you can see the chest area. So it is open. So you can decide to wear a camisole as a church woman. So I wear a camisole on my own. Okay, so we're going to be using our basic bodice pattern for this. So you just cut out your normal basic bodice pattern. Yes, for those of you that don't know how to do that, you can see, check that on my channel. So cut your basic bodies, your half bodies patterns. That's what you will use for this. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how to adapt this pattern. So this is actually the back pattern. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out the neckline. That's like mark out the neckline for the back pattern. So guys, if you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button. I would appreciate for you to like this video. Okay, yes, so that's 3 inches width for the back neckline, and then I'm going to come down with about 1.5 inch for the back neckline. So I'm using this same pattern for both the back and the front, and then I'm going to mark it like that. So you can see my number on the screen. If you want to register for my online class, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. Just screenshot it and then send me a message. I'll give you the details of the classes we have. Okay, so right, so now what I want to do, I want to use my lining piece first to cut this out. So it's better for you to do it that way. I'm going to cut it on the lining piece. So I'm trying to fold my lining, and then I'm going to cut out for the back piece. So after cutting the lining, yes, so add a zip allowance to it. So you can say I added a zip allowance to the back because it has a zip. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now, this same piece, we're going to adapt it into our front neckline. So I'm just trying to label all of the lines here. Okay, so if you notice, that cut is actually on the under bust, so I'll just mark extra 1 inch. I'm trying to add 1 inch to the down part just because of stitching allowance. Okay, and then I'll cut that out, and you know that the down part has a band, so from that remaining one, that is what I will use for my band. I can decide to increase it. So that is what I'm trying to say, that after removing 1 inch from the waist, I'll add to it. That's just like kind of elongate it to make a band for me. So the band is basically just for only the front piece. Okay, so I'll take that out and then I'll cut this off. So my waist, my under bust measurement, so that's the piece I'll use for my band. When it's time, I'll just place it and then mark how many inches do I want for my band and then cut it out. Okay, yes, so you can see my under bust line added extra 1 inch. So the next thing now depends, so that cut, it actually entered the under bust area. So what I will do, I'll come to this under bust area, I'll mark half of an inch or 1 inch. It depends on how much open you want it to open. Yes, so you just mark it. You can use half inch or 1 inch, that's okay. And then just come in into that point like that. That's the under bust part, and then you just create like a V slope. Yes, you, from that neckline, the wideness of the neckline, you use the same width you use for the front for the back. So you can see that's how simple it is to cut out this pattern. So you just cut that off. Yes, so now we have our front piece. So once you cut that off, we are good to go. So you can use slash and spread to add gathers on or plates on that part, but mine, I'll show you guys how to do it. So now I'll place it on the lining and then cut out my back. This is the front now. Yes, I'm cutting out the lining piece and then open the front. So I'll place that on the side, and then the next thing now, we are going to work on the fabric. So like I said, I am extending the length. I will increase the length. Okay, yes, so this is the back piece. So I'm cutting out the back piece now with the fabric. So now for the front, you can see how I'm placing the front piece. And then I'm extending. You can, if you notice, you can see I'm adding to it because that down part actually has tiny, tiny pleats. So you need to extend it. So like I said, you can use slash and spread, but I didn't want so much. So what I did, I just added about an extra of like 3 inches to the wideness of the down piece of my front. That's the down. So you can see I'm just trying to use my hand to check the gathers how it will be. Okay, so after extending, so like I said, I added about 4 inches. I am going to cut out. So I'll cut it out like this. You can see how I'm cutting them out like this. Yes, I'm cutting it out. Okay, so you can see the extension there. So for this, you might want to add extra inches to the length also. So I added 1 inch, so you can see. So when you pleat like this, so I added 1 inch. So I think you should add about 2 inches to it, so that at the end of the day you can trim it to your rightful length, so it does not get truncated. So after that, you can see I'm putting notches on the areas where I want to plait on the front piece. Okay, yes, I'm just trying to put notches. So when I put notches, I'll just know that once I come, I'll start plating it like that, just small small tiny plates. Okay, yes, just to like serve as that. So I'm not adding that to the front of this dress. So that small small plate will serve as my that. So because okay, let me not go past myself. So I've joined them, though that's like I've added the plates. Okay, so I'm going to show you how it looks like. So at the end of the day, you can see how this is looking. So the down part, you can see now it came together, so it is okay. And then this is the other part, so you can see at the end of the day, this is how both of them are looking, and they look good and okay. Yes, so the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to turn this with our lining piece. So you cut that, remember that lining we cut out, then just sew it around on all of the edges except the armhole area. So after doing that, I'm just trying to trim out the excess. After trimming, this is how it will look like. The next thing, I'm just going to secure it down, as I'm trying to pin the shoulder area, and then I'll stitch that part down. So after this, you can see how it is looking. Okay, so you do this to the both sides, so at the end of the day you can see how both of them are looking. So the next thing now, this part you can use pin to pin that down part. Just use pin to secure it down a little bit, let them come together. So this is my back piece. I'm turning with my lining. I'll go back to the front piece. So just the same turn that I did for the front piece. After turning the back piece with my lining, you can see this is how it is looking. It looks good and it looks okay. So the neckline, everything is okay. So I'll just keep that, add that for the back. Okay, so this is a band. So this is just a fabric I cut out. I ironed interfacing on it, and then after ironing interfacing on it, I'm going to take, how depends on how many inches band I want to add. I'm cutting out a straight band. So you can see this part that I was telling you, I'll place them like that, and then just use my machine to secure it down. Okay, so I'll just secure it just with a tiny stitch. Uh-huh. After securing it down, this is the band. So like I said, so that piece, that pattern paper, that band piece, I just increased my length. I used about 5 inches for my length, but I later trimmed it because I found out that it was too long. So now I'm trying to pin it down. Just iron strong gum stay on it. That's what I did to give it structure, and then I stitched it on the waistline of the front piece. Okay, so yes, so I'm trying to take out my pins. So after everything, you can see how it is looking. Now the band is there. So the next thing, you can see it is strong. So reduce the length. So I later reduced my own. I later reduced the length. The 5 inches was too much. So now I want to cover that part with lining because I've covered the up part. So I just placed another fabric on it across like this, and then I will just use my scissors, just cut it out using the length, and then I'll take it back like this, turn it, and then that same stitch that I used to secure the band, I will take it back, and then as you can see it, just place them like this, and then I will sew it back. After sewing, this is how it will be. You can see everything is well covered, and then I will now secure the down, just like iron it, then secure it down with my a running stitch. Yes, so after securing it, this is how it looks like. The next thing, I'm going to pin the back and the front together. It is a simple process. Just pin them on the shoulder area and then join them on the shoulder area. You can see I've joined the shoulder part. After that, what you want to do is take out your measurement. So you can see I've marked my measurement on the sides. Make it a little bit bigger than your bust measurement because it's not meant to be too tight. Okay, so now we want to cut out our skirt. So for the skirt, it's not a flare, it's just a normal straight fabric. So cut your fabric. So for this, I'm using about 2.5 yard of fabric for the down part. Okay, so what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to measure it. The thing is slippery and slippery. So you can see. So I'm trying to measure it. It's about 2.5 yard. That is what I use. And then just cut it in on a straight line. The next thing, I'll just gather this part. So I'm using my gather footer. Just draw gathers on the top part. So after drawing, is a simple process. Just draw gathers on it. You can see. So I use the gather footer. If you don't have gather footer, just run a stitch and pull. After pulling, it is on a straight line. That's the fabric. I did not cut it. Okay, so now open my piece from the back. That's the top part of my dress. So I'm trying to just trim out some excess of allowance. So like I said, I did not divide the down part. I did not divide it. It's just straight like that. And then I'll take the center piece. I want to put a notch at the center. You see it, everything is straight because I've joined the back and the front together. And then this is the down part too. Also, after doing your gathers, make sure that what you have after pulling, it is enough to your waist measurement. For instance, if your waist is 30, what you are measuring now should be 30, like 32, because of zip allowance. You understand? So that's after pleating or gathers. So I'm trying to mark that point so I do not miss it. So the next thing, I'm going to stitch it. So it's both of them. You can see now my dress is on the top, bodice is on a straight line, and then my skirt also is on a straight line. So I'm going to place it like this on it, like this, and then just run a straight stitch from the beginning to the end. So any part that the gathers is not doing well, I'll just use my hand, arrange it, just stitch everything down to the end. Okay, yes, so I'll just stitch it to the down like that. So after stitching, you can see how it looks like. The next thing after this, you are just going to bring the back together and then join the back on that zip allowance part. Just run it from the top to the bottom. Shum. So if you want to add a lining, you can add a lining. If you don't want to add a lining, you can leave it. So after joining, this is how it looks like. You can see. So I've joined that back piece. That's the only side I have joining on the down part. Okay, so after joining, the next thing I want to do now, for the sleeve, I'm just going to use a normal basic sleeve pattern. So you can see I used the basic sleeve pattern, just elongated it, made it longer, and then because the down part, I'm going to just like gather it together. So I already have a video of that. So at the end of the day, this is how it looks like. It came out fine. Yes, the dress was really giving a really kind rich classy vibe. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, please hit on the like button, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see how it looks up close and personal. You can see it. This is like a closer look of it. Okay, so thank you so much.